Welcome back to Politically Animated, where we unpack the latest in immigration shenanigans. Today, we've got a doozy for you. The return of the one, the only, Tom Homan, my hero, as Trump's Border Czar. But before we dive in, remember to hit that like button, because you're going to want to share this. So Tom Homan, the guy who once made headlines for suggesting families could just self-deport, is back in the saddle. He's promising shock and awe. No, not the ban, but the policy. His plan, to make ICE agents look like superheroes with less paperwork and more, well, deporting.
Here now with more is the incoming Trump Border Czar himself, Tom Homan. Tom, welcome to the show. Would you please comment on the specific granular plan that Sarah Carter has reported on, how in fact you're going to use trains, planes, and automobiles to repatriate these illegal migrants back to their home countries?
Well, as Sarah said, look, me and Governor Abbott, we're not waiting until January 20th. I've been out to Texas. We're already meeting. We're planning how we can work together to help Texas, secure their border at the highest level ever. He's done a great job. Illegal immigration in Texas is down 86% because he put in place a lot of Trump's policies, right? He's building border barriers like President Trump did. He's adding consequences for those who cross the border illegally. He's arresting them for trespass. And people need to understand DPS has done a lot. Not only is Governor Abbott's action protecting Texas, they're protecting the United States because most of these illegal aliens aren't staying in Texas. They're moving out of the country. Every ounce of fentanyl his trooper sees is less overdose deaths. Every person they arrest for trespass is one less getaway. So they get fingerprinted, they get vetted. At least we know they're not terrorists. But we're going to follow that model across the southwest border. But my plan is, and I've been very vocal about this, we're going to contract as much work out as we can. Work that doesn't require a badge and a gun, because I need badges and guns on the street to do the deportation operation. So when it comes to driving bus transportation, whether it's ground or air, whether it's processing, whether it's some other administrative duties, contract that work out. Because right now we got badges and guns doing that work. Get them out of that administrative work, put more on the street, and that's what we're going to do. And if these sanctuary states and cities keep pushing back, I'll have the extra resources to double manpower in those sanctuary cities. Because if we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail with one agent, it means I got to send a whole team out in the field to find this person. And for officer safety reasons, we need a whole team rather than just one person. So this is the plan we're putting together, and Governor Abbott's coming to the table. He's the first one to come to the table, and I accepted it and shook his hand and said, let's go, let's move forward, let's do it.
Tom, I know that you often talk passionately about the humanitarian crisis that is our border.
Picture this: ICE agents back on the streets, not stuck behind desks, because apparently that's where the real action is. Homan's vision includes using the military, but not for nabbing people. Oh no, they're here for the glamorous job of paperwork and transport. Because nothing says shock and awe like administrative support. But wait, there's more. Homan's got a wild card up his sleeve. If you don't self-deport, you're looking at a lifetime ban from the U.S. Citizenship Club. Talk about tough love. And if you're thinking, but what about my kids? Well, apparently families can be deported together because who needs family separation when you can have family deportation trips? Chef.
Tom, I know that you often talk passionately about the humanitarian crisis that is our border crisis. You have some of these Democrats don't seem to care, and when babies are drowning in the Rio Grande, don't say a word about it, including our border czar, Kamala Harris, most days. We don't hear them talk about the 10-year-old boy being abandoned by the smugglers, the 2-year-old girl left by herself, 2 years old, Tom Homan. And yet I feel like they're waiting for their photo op, and they will resist the efforts that you and President Trump are trying to put forward and make sure that they're showing the big bad evil guys are separating families and people are crying they're being deported. Bring us forward a little bit. What will this look like? Will it be orderly? Will it be humane? How are you guaranteeing that? Because you're already getting so much resistance from the same mayors and local officials who know this has been draining their resources, know how angry their residents are about illegals coming there getting cash and debit cards and cell phones and clothing and hotel rooms in a place here like New York City, let alone a New York City school child's desk in a classroom. Tom, how will you do it in a way that people know you adhere to the law, this is enforcing the law, it is humane, it is fair, and it is just and legal?
Well, look, open borders are not humane. The only thing on that border right now that is humane are the men and women wearing that green uniform. They save thousands of lives every year. I've seen these men and women give CPR to babies that were thrown into the river by the cartel, because when they're chasing the boat of a smuggling load, so what the cartel members do, throw the baby in the water, then the Border Patrol have to jump in the water and save that baby rather than arresting the smuggler. Look, I've held dying children, I've held dead children. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 that were raped multiple times by criminal cartels. The border, open borders, cause death. They cause a rise in sexual assault of females and children. Under this administration, open border, sex trafficking is up over 600%. The number of people off the terrorist watch list is at a historic high. The amount of fentanyl coming across the open border have killed over 250,000 Americans. And that's just what open borders does. When President Trump had the most secure border of my lifetime, illegal immigration down 90%. When 90% less people were coming, how many babies weren't dying? How many women weren't being sexually assaulted? How many no-inspected terrorists didn't make in the country? How many pounds of fentanyl didn't get in the country, kill Americans? Secure borders saves lives. But and that's where the humanitarian piece comes into place. Under Joe Biden, historic number of aliens have died crossing that border, 4,000. 250,000 Americans have died. The open border policies are killing aliens at record numbers, killing Americans at record numbers, and we're going to put a stop to it, and we're going to secure the border. As far as sanctuary cities, I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor wants to push back on ICE, because the president's been very clear. Right out of the gate, we're going to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. What elected official wants to tell his constituency, I'm okay with public safety threats in my community, I don't want ICE's help to remove these public safety threats? That's their number one responsibility, is the safety and security of the public of their communities. If they don't want to do it, ICE is going to do it. And with all the death threats and all the negative press right now, they can keep screaming all they want. ICE is going to do this job. I'm going to do this job. We're going to make these communities safer.
Now, let's be real. This isn't just about borders. It's about turning immigration into a reality show where the stakes are higher than ever. Will Homan manage to turn his shock and awe into something more than just a catchy phrase? Or will it just be another episode of As the Border Turns? Tune in, subscribe, and let's see if this border czar can czar his way through this mess. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on this wild ride. And remember, in the world of border politics, expect the unexpected. See you in the next episode, where we'll decode more of this administration's plans, or lack thereof. Peace out.